What is it that motivates you as an individual to work with this particular cohort?
I'm from the LGBTI community myself, but certainly I've always had an interest in working with people who have, less access to the health system, people who are marginalised or minoritized, and certainly I'm really drawn to healthcare or um, health professions as somebody who really enjoys helping others and making a real difference in other people's lives. So, for example, I'm able to work with socially isolated people with not a single friend or family in their lives, connect them up with a delightful volunteer, and really see over a period of 3 months, 6 months, the really huge difference that having even one friend in your life, if you're a lonely and socially isolated person, how much that can improve your life in general.
Wow. So you are an essential worker during a global pandemic. So students of this subject have commenced studies kind of pre-COVID, and they too have kind of adapted to working within a largely digital and remote learning environment. In terms of the cohort that you work to support or work alongside, how have you seen COVID kind of play out in their lives?
Whew, I think COVID's just been a mess for so many people, but certainly it's not experienced equally. For some of the older people I work with, they're quite isolated anyway, and so some ways it's not that unusual for them to not see many people and not go out much. But on the other side, for some people, if they don't have friends and family, all they have is services to support them, and their need has really skyrocketed. So we have some people in our services who don't have enough food, they don't have access to hygiene products, etc., because they don't have people around them. And that's, again, we're talking about social determinants of health. If you're isolated, you don't have people to support you, get your groceries. If you're living with disability, mobility issues, you then can't get those very basic things, and you may be at higher risk for getting coronavirus and then complications from COVID. Again, that social determining factor on someone's health outcomes.
I guess speaking broadly, so as someone who identifies as part of the community, the LGBTQI community, how have you seen COVID kind of impact this particular community?
I think LGBTIQA plus people are highly overrepresented in statistics regarding mental illness and suicidality, not because of anything inherent to them, but again, because we live in a society that doesn't see LGBTI people as equal to mainstream society. That's really improving over time, but we're still historically not treated the same as the mainstream straight community. So I think it's really pushing on people's mental illness. It's really really amplifying that struggle, people's depression, anxiety, again, facing those barriers to access healthcare support. And, if someone's living with anxiety, wants to see a doctor, get a referral to a psychologist, etc., if they experience homophobia while in the waiting room or from their doctor, they're then not going to engage with that service. It's the little things like that that might seem very small, but that can actually really impact somebody's access to health and have really negative consequences on the health overall.
Thanks for saying there are some kind of big questions at the moment. Reflecting on your career in health science and health promotion, is there anything that you would like to kind of impart to students of this subject so they're really just starting out on their careers in health science and health promotion?
Well, first of all, well done. I think health sciences is super awesome, super really important, and probably will be funded ongoing in our society. There's such a huge need for health professionals. We're in an aging population, of course, so I think you'll probably always have work. Health science, the field of health is really huge, and there's not just one way to get in there. So again, I actually started with a Bachelor of Arts, and then I went to do a Master's of Public Health. But actually, after I finished my Bachelor's, I was looking at getting into health science, but I didn't know what one. So I was looking at physio, OT, audiology, nursing, and public health actually, and I couldn't decide. So what I did was I looked at lots of YouTube videos, I read more about it, I met some professionals in their field and asked them more just to get that information. And at the end of the day, I chose public health because it was just something that I'm really passionate about. So public health really looks at the population level rather than the individual. So questions such as social determinants of health are really important for looking at responses. So, for example, with COVID, perfect look at public health, of course. We're looking at population needs with COVID and how can we put in policies to shape individuals. The other health science careers I was thinking of, OT, nursing, audiology, physio, were more looking at the individual, not looking at that larger social aspect or context, which is why I went for public health in the end, as that's what really interests me.
Wow, thanks so much, Ada. Thanks for your time, and best of luck with your current role.
No worries. If anyone would like to hear more about my career or whatever, please feel free to email me. I'll get Eden to pass on my email details, but please, I'm just keep going through your degree. I'm sure that it's really hard at the moment with COVID, but I've no doubt that it'll be worth it.